Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Taylor Swift's latest album Life of a Showgirl has been one of the most talked about projects of 2025. Known for blending personal storytelling with cultural references, Swift surprised fans with one of the album's most controversial and unexpected tracks, Father Figure, a song that directly nods to George Michael's 1987 classic. The title alone caused a flurry of speculation long before the record dropped. But now, the late singer's estate has officially weighed in, offering a reaction that blends respect, caution, and curiosity about how Swift's homage fits within Michael's enduring legacy. A song that sparked immediate debate. Even before Life of a Showgirl was released, Swift had teased that the album would be a love letter to fame, illusion, and the figures who shaped me. When fans saw the tracklist, one name instantly jumped out: Father Figure. Swifties immediately connected the dots to George Michael's legendary ballad from his Faith album, a song both praised and scrutinized for its provocative mix of religious imagery and sexual vulnerability. The day the album dropped, social media lit up with debates. Was Swift covering the original? Was she reinventing it with her own lyrics? Or was it simply a symbolic borrowing of the title? The answer turned out to be somewhere in between. While the track doesn't directly sample Michael's version, Swift heavily interpolates lines from the original chorus, weaving them into her own narrative about mentorship, betrayal, and complicated relationships with the men who shaped her career. Critics were quick to call it one of the album's boldest and riskiest moves. The estate breaks its silence. With George Michael passing away in 2016, his estate has often been careful about how his music and image are used in popular culture. Over the years, they have approved select projects, including tributes and carefully curated licensing opportunities. But they have also been protective, pushing back against commercial exploitation. When asked for comment on Swift's track, a spokesperson for the George Michael estate released a statement. "We recognize and respect Taylor Swift as one of the defining artists of her generation. Her decision to reference George's iconic song, Father Figure, is a testament to the enduring impact of his work. However, we must also stress the importance of maintaining the integrity of George's original vision. While we did not authorize a direct sample, we understand the song draws inspiration from his artistry. We appreciate the spirit in which it was created and trust Taylor's fans will explore George's music as well." This carefully balanced response avoided either outright endorsement or rejection. Instead, it signaled acknowledgement of Swift's stature while underscoring that Michael's legacy is not something to be casually repurposed. Fans react: respectful tribute, or overreach. Unsurprisingly, the estate's statement did little to quiet fan debates. Swifties largely praised the track, arguing that it introduced George Michael's music to a new generation. "Taylor made me look up George Michael's original," one fan posted on X, formerly Twitter. "I've had Faith on repeat all day. She's bridging generations." But George Michael's longtime fans were more divided. Some accused Swift of overstepping, suggesting the song used the title and fragments of lyrics without fully grappling with the emotional weight of Michael's original. George's Father Figure wasn't just a pop song, one critic argued. It was layered, complicated, even dangerous for its time. Taylor turning it into another chapter of her relationship saga feels shallow by comparison. Others, however, took a more forgiving view. "If George were alive, I think he'd be flattered. He loved bold artists who pushed boundaries." The legacy of Father Figure. To understand why the estate's response matters, it's worth remembering what George Michael's Father Figure meant in the first place. Released in 1988 as the fourth single from his debut solo album Faith, the song was a slow, brooding ballad with lyrics that blurred the line between romantic and spiritual devotion. The title itself raised eyebrows. Was Michael positioning himself as a lover, a protector, a savior, or all three at once? The ambiguity was part of its power. At a time when Michael was still hiding his sexuality from the public, the song became a haunting expression of longing and identity. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 and cemented Michael's reputation as a risk-taker who could turn pop into something transcendent. By invoking Father Figure nearly 4 decades later, Swift inevitably placed herself in conversation with one of pop's most iconic and provocative statements. Swift's artistic intent. In interviews surrounding Life of a Showgirl, Swift described the album as a reflection on the relationships that have shaped her, not just romantic ones, but professional, paternal, and cultural. "I wanted to write about the figures who guided me, for better or worse," she told one magazine. "Some were protectors, some were betrayers, some were both. Father Figure was my way of exploring that duality. The song itself shifts between admiration and accusation, referencing older male mentors in the industry who initially presented themselves as protectors but later revealed ulterior motives. "You said you'd be my father figure, but you taught me how to lie," one lyric declares. By borrowing from George Michael's song, Swift reframes the concept of a father figure, not as erotic devotion but as the complicated, often toxic power dynamics young women face in the entertainment industry. Why the estate's response matters. The estate's decision to comment at all speaks volumes. Many artists' estates avoid addressing modern reinterpretations unless legal action is necessary. By acknowledging Swift's track, the George Michael estate signaled both the scale of her cultural influence and their own interest in shaping how Michael's legacy is remembered. Their emphasis on integrity suggests they are wary of his songs being reduced to cultural shorthand without context. At the same time, they seem to recognize that Swift's homage, however polarizing, keeps Michael's work relevant in an era where younger listeners might otherwise overlook it. Industry experts weigh in. Music historians were quick to weigh in on the controversy. Dr. Elaine Morgan, a pop culture professor at King's College London, noted, "George Michael was a master of ambiguity. His songs often carried double meanings, inviting multiple interpretations. In a way, Taylor Swift continuing that tradition, repurposing father figure to address her own themes, fits within his legacy." On the other hand, critic Jason Rawlings argued, "There's a difference between inspiration and appropriation." Swift walks a fine line here. By using the same title and echoing the chorus, she risks overshadowing the original rather than honoring it. A cultural crossroads. Ultimately, the debate over Swift's father figure reflects larger cultural tensions. How do today's artists engage with the legacies of those who came before them? At what point does homage slip into exploitation? And who gets to decide what is respectful when the original artist is no longer alive to speak for themselves? For now, Swift seems unbothered by the controversy. The song remains one of the most streamed tracks on Life of a Showgirl, and its layered references have only fueled discussion. Meanwhile, George Michael's original father figure has enjoyed a sudden surge in streams, climbing Spotify's viral charts in the weeks since Swift's album dropped. The bottom line: Taylor Swift's decision to name and frame a song after George Michael's father figure was always going to be provocative. By weaving in elements of his iconic ballad while telling her own story, she reignited debates about authorship, influence, and legacy. The George Michael estate's response, measured, respectful, but cautious, underscores just how much weight the original still carries nearly 40 years later. Far from silencing the conversation, it has only deepened it, ensuring that both Swift's and Michael's music continue to spark dialogue about power, artistry, and cultural memory. In the end, perhaps that's the most fitting tribute of all, that two artists, separated by generations, can continue to provoke, inspire, and challenge audiences, whether in harmony or in tension.